I don't speak any French. You're going to kill me. I don't speak any French. I'm so sorry. I have a wine fridge in my, that's how French I am. I have a wine fridge in my office. Well, it's funny because I was a stand-up comedian for a very long time. I had done a bunch of things in entertainment. I was a promoter of concerts. I had never done a television show ever. I met these guys while I was touring doing comedy. They told me that they did reality television. I thought, I can create reality television. I see the boom that's going on. I went and created a couple of shows. I came to town. I had both of them optioned, and I was on my way. I think there's a lot of skills that you really need. I think you need to understand the psychology of how people think, right? I think you need to understand stakes. And I think it's also very important to have in your game story built in, right? Because people, no matter what you do, they watch story like a movie. So there's so many components, but making sure that you have story is something that a lot of people miss. What I typically do is I look out there and I go, what is something that people already do? Like for Don't Forget the Lyrics, everybody listens to music. Everybody sings along to those songs. How do you create a game out of something like that that becomes so organic and then build it in such a way where there's not too many rules, it's not too confusing, and it's very compelling, right? It has to have stakes, it has to have fun, and it has to be interactive so people watching from home can play along organically without thinking about it. They're just doing it. That to me is you have the beginning of a great game.
Katie has $350,000.
So if I was telling somebody, when people come into me and they have all these wacky different games, I say, if you want to create something here in America, make it one simple game. Make the stakes climb as it goes deeper. Let the difficulty and the money or the stakes or whatever go up and up and up and up. And you don't have to have a bunch of crazy rules and triplers and doublers and just keep it simple.
We're going to start off at $2,500. That's the first sum. But then you make your way on up to the very top, and there is the $1 million song.
All right.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
It's a very funny story. I had gone out and pitched a different show. I had a meeting with all the networks. I went out and pitched a show that the first network I went to, they said, we have to have this show. It wasn't Don't Forget the Lyrics. So my agent said, well, we have to cancel all the other meetings at the networks, and they were for the next day. So I said, don't cancel the meetings. I'm going to go create something. He goes, you're going to create something overnight? I said, we're going to create something. And I had just read a book by Bernie Brillstein, okay, who's a famous manager here, who talked about how he created a certain television show. He woke up in the middle of the night and he took the two biggest shows on TV. So I did the same thing. At the time, the two biggest shows were American Idol and Deal or No Deal. But the model of Deal or No Deal didn't fit, but the model of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire did. So I said, how do I take American Idol and how do I take Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, put them together, and that's how I built the show. It was literally, how do we do it? I've always been a huge lover of music. I've seen probably, well over 3,000 concerts in my lifetime. I've seen Bruce Springsteen almost 100 times. So I'm a fanatical nut when it comes to music. So it's something I always did. I always played that game with my twins and stuff like that. And that's how I created the show. And the next day, we went out and pitched it and sold it. Like, it was that fast. When it comes to fine-tuning a game show, we literally fine-tune it from the second we develop it until the day before we're actually showing it. We don't want to change anything in the studio, but we want to make sure that we've tested everything, that we've poked holes in everything, that we're questioning everything. There's a lot of people that go, don't worry about it, we'll fix it in the studio. You go, no, that's when it's expensive. That's when it's costing you money and you've got a whole crew. And it really means that we do it all beforehand. So We do hundreds of run-throughs on every show that we do to make sure that it all works, and we do it over and over and over again. We test everything. Even if it's crazy, we test it because you never know. You learn more from making a mistake than you do from doing it right? So we try everything. So there's always fine-tuning before a show actually makes it to the air, always. I always say the money doesn't matter unless it's about the money, and then it matters, right?
I'm gonna win $1 million. I'm here to win $1 million.
That is confidence. Tonight, if you can give me the correct missing lyrics to 10 hit songs, I'm giving you a check for $1 million, my friend.
It all depends on how you frame it. So I don't think the money always matters unless it's really about what your show's about. And in America, people are so used to that $1 million thing in prime time. We only do really big prime time shows, you know? For Don't Forget the Lyrics, we did a version in prime time where it was for $1 million. We also did a version that was in syndication for $50,000. Either way, that money is life-changing for people. You're taking people that are real people. Most people work paycheck to paycheck. And either way, it changes their life.
And I am so happy I have $350,000 and I'm walking away.
He's walking away.
That's it.
Everybody,
That's it.
please give this man a standing ovation. He's gone so far and done so well.
My girlfriend moved to New York City, and we've been separated doing the long distance relationship, and I have been wanting to move to New York City for so long. And I'm moving to the Big Apple, baby.
You were making the decision. Do I want to go on again? Do I want to walk away with my money? If I go on, I have a chance to win a lot more money. If I decide to walk away, we're good. But if I go on and I lose, I drop all the way down. Everything in game shows is choices and consequences. I make a choice, and then the reality actually happens, and we watch that unfold. That, to me, is what makes it fantastic in any game show. When it comes to original creation in the United States, it really does depend on who you are that's going in to sell it. I created Don't Forget the Lyrics, which was an original creation, and we sold it. I created Beat Shazam, which was an original creation, and we sold it. I created Let's Ask America, which was an original creation, and we sold it. So when I walk in the door with a paper format, they have trust that we're going to be able to deliver on that. It's a very, very important thing. It's very hard to launch an original show. It's much easier to go, oh, they've had success in France, or they've had success in the UK, or they've had success in Spain or in China, and to adapt that, it's much easier to do that. So if you're going to try to sell an original project here, it's very difficult to do, but if you're with the right person, you can do that. Every country is different, and every country has a different sensibility. It's with everything. If you go to France, the sensibility of eating and dining is different. The sensibility of culture and entertainment is different. It's also different in Italy. It's different in the UK. It's different in Brazil. It's different in Spain. I've been to all, right? We've done all of those. So you have to be smart as a creator in understanding that the people that are in those countries that are producing television shows, they're professionals. I've built my career on being surrounded by really smart people, and you have to know that those people know their culture better than you do and hope that you've hired the right people, right? So I always allow people in the local markets to adapt it the way that they think will make sense. If it's just crazy and I just hate it, then I'll fight on it because I go, that's not going to work. But for the most part, the people that have done Don't Forget the Lyrics in France, they have done a great job. The ratings have continued to build. It's been on for 10 seasons. That's a long time to be on the air and a lot of music to play. France 2, they've done a great job in maintaining it, and they've done a lot of creation that honestly had nothing to do with me. I think they started out the way that we did it, and they saw that they had to change in order to make sense of it. And then it became two people, and then they brought in celebrity, and all the different things they did, and it works for them. I've never questioned one thing they've ever done because they've always done a really, really terrific job. Interactivity is so big and so important that we think that there's ways to play games where you're watching the television show and you're playing along and you have a chance to win from home. That's gigantic, and that's the market we're going after right now. We're creating several different shows that have people synced directly to the television show. Everybody's playing at the same time. I like to say everybody can play, everybody can win, and it's a big, big thing. I remember seeing this contestant tell me that she only had $105, and she won $350K, and in that moment, I knew that I changed her life. I saw the television show when it came on. I was in the back of the room and I watched different people watch that show and react to that show and sing along and freak out and be like biting their nails.
Yesterday, what were you doing on the phone?
I was on the phone with my bank because I have about $20 in my bank, and I was crying, and now I have $350,000.
Yes, you
I
do.
can't believe it.
Those are things to be very, very proud of. And don't forget, the lyrics was my first big thing. So that'll always be my first baby and the thing I'm most proud of. Yeah.
Supposed to fire my imagination. Can't get no, can't